Welcome back to another episode of Red Tinted Glasses. This is no fun, Callum, is it?
No, I don't like this losing. Well, we don't even lose, but it
We didn't
feels like a
even
loss.
lose
It's that
it.
bad. It was that bad. It felt like a loss. I'm just so done with it. What a palaver that was tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we thought this would be a good idea. So we're recording this at 9 o'clock, 10 minutes after full time to kind of get the passion of the result out to you guys that are tuning in. So what we did was on our Twitter account at RTG underscore podcast, we asked for your one word. Callum, though, I think we should start with ours. Do you want to go first?
I'm going to go with lackluster. Pretty self-explanatory. We lackluster. No, it's just very uninspiring. I think a few people have said that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just none of it. Well, the first half was okay. We got the goal, but then the second half was just dire, absolute dire. What about you?
Well, I'm actually going to steal Keith Monroe's word because he kind of gave me inspiration for it. I'm going to say toothless. Keith texted me saying how much we've lacked any creativity. And yeah, that was pretty true. Apart from kind of the Hedges goal aside in the first half, and with maybe a couple of half chances, first and second half, it was just totally nothing up top really. And we discussed in the preview of this game that Dundee United struggled to break Hamilton down until they got the ball on the deck and played football. When we did that, we got down the wings and got the ball in the box, but there was nobody there on the end of it. And then other times we just resorted to lumping the ball to Cosgrove and Main, which doesn't work. It never worked last season. I don't know why McInnes thinks it's suddenly going to work, but hey ho, we've paid the price for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I can't wait to hear what the people think. You want to
Yeah,
reel those off?
yeah, we've got pathetic, disgraceful from Sam Taylor. Cami Christie says abysmal. And Jonathan Main, sackable. I know how impassioned Jonathan feels about McInnes recently. Emma says pish. You commented with the video clip of your dad. I think that would be appropriate for those watching in.
Yep, why not
Um,
now? Shite!
yeah, Tommy also quotes a video of the Celtic lassie outside Hampden saying shite.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got predictable, uninspiring. Predictable's been mentioned a few times, as has uninspiring. Abysmal even. Meh, draw, shite, inadequate, and unacceptable. I think a nice gauge of the feeling after tonight's result.
Very positive place, Aberdeen Twitter tonight, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah, just shows what a run of poor form and results does to the early season confidence.
I know. I think, well, we've got a big cup game coming up as well soon. Oh, my confidence is just at the start of the international break. It was here, and it's just going whew, right down.
To be fair, I don't want to get embarrassed at Hampton again, so
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I'm getting embarrassed in Paisley instead. I mean, it's close enough.
got embarrassed in Hamilton, and Govan, so might as well just make it a hat trick of embarrassments.
Exactly. We're just touring the Glasgow area, aren't we? Just
Yeah,
absolute shambles.
yeah. I feel a few impassioned rants coming on in this episode, but I suppose we should kind of start from the very beginning if we have to. Coming into tonight, Hamilton had lost 5 games in a row, including defeats to Stranraer, and they've conceded 35 goals so far this season. So it was good that we managed to test a very leaky defence. If no one detects that sarcasm, then shame on you. Ryan Hedges said before the game that we should bounce back in today's game as Sunday was just a blip. Well, he did perform well, I'll give him that, but don't think it was just a blip, Ryan.
No, I hate it when they do this and they don't keep their mouths shut and just like move on to the next game. I know obviously they've got to speak to the media or whatever, but you say stuff like that, then all Brian Rice has got to do, stick that up on the wall pre-match. There's your team talk sorted, and they'll go out and prove us wrong. It just seems to happen every time they come out and say some big quote in the media. Oh, it's just a blip, but we'll bounce back. Blah blah blah, and it never ever happens. And it's just annoying that it was him because he's the only player that's been a shining light as well. Ah,
He really has been, and I suppose he's kind of turning into a vitally important player for us. But as someone said after Sunday, he's going to find himself out with a back injury from trying to carry this team.
I know there's only so much one can do as he's surrounded by absolute fodder. I just feel sorry for the man.
I know we did not copy and paste that clip in from our previous episode. It feels like we say it every week.
True, exactly. We'll see how long it goes on for.
So when the team news was announced, Dean Campbell came in to the starting 11 for Ryan Edmondson, and Greg Lee dropped back to left wing back, and Shea Logan dropped down into the bench. And we saw Curtis Main also come in the starting 11. What was your initial thoughts at the starting 11?
I was glad to see Dean Campbell was fit enough, to be fair, and a bit more positive in the fact that it meant Greg Lee could maybe play in his more natural position at left wing back anyway, and get Matt Kennedy onto the other side, where still not a wing back, but better on the right than he is the left. And he did prove me wrong. He does have a left foot. Started off immediately by smashing one about 15 yards over the bar at his left peg. So, Puck said, well, I'm wrong. But and then Curtis May coming in for Edmondson, it's just very meh, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. He likes to play against Hamilton, but unlike last season, he didn't get his midweek goal against Hamilton. It was not really an influential performance from him at all. And you picked up a couple of points on the changes, though, surrounding Dean Campbell and Greg Lee. And I think we both agreed the fact that Greg Lee looked a lot more comfortable at left wing back than he did in midfield on Sunday.
Yes, definitely. Far more natural. Obviously, he's probably a natural fullback, still not a natural wing back, but he did look a lot better out there. And Dean Campbell came in the first half. I was saying, oh, it's great. He's just going about his job very quietly. So, that's probably encouraging, I suppose, the fact he could come in and played 90 after being injured for so long. But other than that, positives for tonight, Glenn?
Anyone at all?
I
don't think there is any really. There really isn't. It was so poor. I'm not even prepared to tell everyone who I compared Dean Campbell to, because I don't think there's enough backlash ready for that after the result as well. So but certainly in the first half we looked composed in midfield, and it was a very comfortable first half. Hamilton didn't threaten at all. We went in 1-0 up, and you thought, what could go wrong here?
I know. I was thinking, if we just keep controlling the game, it'll be fine. We'll maybe just be patient, get another couple chances, maybe a couple more goals. Everything will be fine. That's a good result after a poor one. All sorted. But that wasn't really the case whatsoever. Again, you said it before we started recording. Don't know what the hell happened at halftime. 5 minutes later, 1-1. Oh, brilliant. And see, when that happens, I just have no confidence that we're ever going to find another goal. It's just the same as when we go 1-0 down.
That's actually the first thing Brune said to me when it went to 1-1. He says, we don't even look like winning. Hamilton are just going to sit in, play for the draw. And it's a classic Aberdeen problem that kind of reared its head again. We struggle to break teams down when they've got something to hold on to.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen it so much over the years. I thought we'd maybe got a bit better this season eventually when we got the win against St Johnstone. Somehow picked that out of nowhere. But I said this earlier, we can't even rely on Lewis Ferguson right now to come up with a late winner and dig us out of the hole. I'd never realised how much we relied on those, but yeah, definitely. So I think without him and Hedges this season, God knows where we'd be.
Yeah, and I think as well, you were speaking on the importance of Matt Kennedy's left foot. Ryan Hedges scored with his right foot tonight, so he can do the business on his right foot, because I know you've been critical of that before.
I know, I'm impressed. I'll admit while I'm wrong. It was a good finish. He took it really, really well. If he'd done that against Celtic, I would have been very, very happy. He didn't.
Good to see you're over that.
Yeah, I know. Not bitter at all. But
No.
if he can, that's maybe give him confidence scoring that goal on his right foot, and if he can carry that on going forward, I'd be very, very appreciative. If you're listening, Ryan, I know you're a big fan of the show.
I'm sure he won't be listening after tonight's performance.
No, I can't imagine.
So I suppose we should speak about the second half, unfortunately. We've talked about it already. We've conceded within 5 minutes of the second half starting for the second time in concession. what the hell is McInnes saying to these players at halftime? I know it'll be in a different team talk from Sunday, but we were totally controlling that game. And I mean, the free kick looked soft, but the marking from the free kick was atrocious.
What is it about set pieces? We can't do anything with them going forward, and then we just can't defend them either. Gave away a penalty on Sunday, and then this one today.
Yeah, I mean, we actually touched on that in the preview episode. We said Hamilton are a threat from balls into the box. We allowed them plenty of that in the second half. And yeah, our deliveries, once again, corners, free kicks, were terrible. Just a terrible night.
Basically, all round, yeah. It's just I don't know what it is. I don't think they've. It seems like we're just copy and pasting things from Sunday and put them into this. But do we ever work on set pieces? Not only just attacking them, but defending them. People blaming Ash Taylor, but I honestly, my stream was a bit of a nightmare. So I couldn't really tell too much. But people are saying also some people saying someone else lost their marker. So whether it's Ash Taylor or someone else, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
it's not good enough.
I mean, the Hamilton stream was terrible. I probably should have paid the £15 to watch it, but from what I did see on the stream itself of the goal, it did look like Taylor was left with two men. Whether it was him that was marking Ogdenpo and it was his man, but he was left with two, and it's difficult to deal with that. But I don't know if he really jumped for the header or not. Like I said, the stream buffered, and I'm not going to sit back and watch the highlights anytime soon because just watching the 90 minutes alone was torture enough.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday and now this. I mean, will we ever watch Sporting again at this rate? It's just all this. Just, I just hope we can pick up some form against St Mirren. But even then, against them last season, sometimes we struggled. So if Jonathan Abika's on form, brilliant. Can't wait for that. He'll ragdoll our defence about. Super.
I suppose something you've been passionate about McInnes not doing is his lack of substitutions so far this season, or failure to use 5 subs. And he always seems to forget he has 5 subs. We're drawing 1-1 with Hamilton. We concede early in the second half. It takes him until the 77th minute to make an attacking change. Do you think that's down to what we have on the bench or just his reluctance? Because in my opinion, he's always reluctant to change to plan B.
I don't think there was maybe many other options other than the two he brought on, well, to try and change the game in an attacking sense, I suppose, but he could have gone a lot earlier with them instead of waiting until 70 or whatever it was, which is worrying. He's always been really, really slow in doing that. And it's just... At least, I hate how this 5 substitution thing, how he just never seems to make the fool of it. Okay, there wasn't that many options today, given half the bench is the youth team, but you can go earlier with them at least and see what happens. Throw on Mikey Devlin up top. I mean, come on, do something.
Okay, I know it was bad, but we don't need the man made of glass.
Why not? Why not, Glenn?
Well, my argument is Ryan Duncan made his debut on Sunday. I know we were 4-0 down, but if he's good enough to be in and around the first team, he's good enough to go and get minutes. Do you trust these players or not? Same with other youth players you've gone and brought on the bench. They're there for a reason. They're there to be used. They're not just there to fill a seat. Otherwise, you only name 4 subs. Don't bring those players and show you trust them, show them minutes. I think as fans, if he then, put on the youth players and showed some intent in that, there might be a bit more accepting of it. Not just going, they're just here to fill up the numbers and we'll just chuck on our 2 known attacking players and see what happens, which it kind of felt like tonight. And for me, that's the biggest frustration. McInnes doesn't trust the youth. It's as simple as that in my eyes.
Well, if you give them, okay, you might not want to give them any more than sort of 10, maybe even 5. But if you give them that, and then you never know what can happen, it could be a little bit of magic. Okay, they're not experienced or whatever, but when you've got 5 minutes to go, nothing's been working so far, why not give it a chance?
Yeah, look at what happened when we played St Mirren at home. Ball falls to Lewis Ferguson at the edge of the box and he just takes a pop shot. The youngsters are going to want that opportunity to see their name up in lights. They might just think, I'll just take a pop shot. Well, as long as it doesn't turn out like Matty Kennedy's in the first half, finds the back of the net. Could be a different review tonight.
I know, the less said about that man, the better, honestly. It just boils my blood.
But I think, for me, the biggest concern tonight Not only the contrast in first half performance to second half performance, which was an utter disgrace because I don't feel the players turned up at all. We spoke about wasted jerseys on Sunday, wasted jerseys again tonight. But we should, as a team, and this is no disrespect to Hamilton, because in fairness to them, they probably deserved their point tonight based on that second half performance. And let's be honest, if it hadn't been for Joe Lewis, they would have had all three.
How many times have we said that over the years, to be fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just has to be much better against them, and we can't afford to be doing that in games like this and dropping points in games against Hamilton. It's just not good enough in any way, shape, or form. I can feel myself getting more and more annoyed and just rambling as I go on. So please stop me.
Not only does our inability to beat Hamilton stop us in the race for the third place trophy, but our inability to beat Hamilton also seems to save them every season as well. Those points help them in their bid for safety, but we should have the players, we should have the ability to beat Hamilton. Why is the manager not doing something to inspire the players? I know we've got injuries, I know we've got COVID suspensions, but like I've touched on, there should be some desire from these fringe players to step up. There's no excuses here. There was a lack of leadership on the pitch, again, in my eyes. Up top, toothless. Midfield, no real creativity going forward. Thought Dean Campbell did well in spreading the play. He looked like he was wanting to do something, but we just lacked any sort of ideas. There was no drive or intensity to our performance as well in that second half, and that is so concerning. It really is ahead of another away trip to St Mirren.
Definitely, and to be fair to Ojo, I think in the first half he did look a bit better. Okay, you'd expect that against Hamilton.
I mean, he couldn't have looked any worse than what he done.
That's true, but with having had Campbell sort of alongside sitting, it did allow him a bit more freedom to roam, and he did look a bit better, but that in the second half just disappeared. It's just, it's so frustrating that doesn't seem to be any sort of plan B to what we're doing. I mean, we could have changed things, changed the shape or something like that. Just give a little bit more impetus to things, but no, and it's worrying the fact that we're going in another important game against St Mirren now. Games are just getting more and more important these days, and then in the cup too. So because if we lose against St Mirren in the first one, then in the second one they're going to be full of confidence. Or even if we don't lose, if they just get something,
and the thing is that people that are listening or watching to this episode might think that we're overreacting. Like I said, this is an initial full-time reaction to the result, but I don't think it is an overreaction. McInnes prides himself on having a team full of fit players, so I don't want to hear that fitness is an issue amongst this team. I know Dean Campbell was just coming back, but we have substitutions. Use them. And there, you could have used Devlin and then maybe put Kennedy into midfield. Imagine that.
Or Hernandez.
How dare you mention his name?
Oh, I feel bad.
There's players on there. Trust them to do the job, because it's quite clear that there's obviously players in that team that McInnes doesn't trust. Otherwise, we'd have seen them tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that the forgotten man Hernandez might fall into that category for one. And
I also think that, and if the rumours are to be believed, that Devlin and McInnes don't really speak to each other, I'd also put Devlin into that category as well.
That is quite concerning, isn't it? One of your senior players and the manager not getting along. But I suppose it happens at clubs, but just has to be dealt with, I suppose, and it's not yet. So that's good, isn't it? Just leave him on the bench and do nothing. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I suppose we go back up to third in the league table. Woohoo!
Thrilling stuff. McInnes ball at its finest.
Yeah, so McInnes' masterclass will roll into Paisley on Saturday evening. For those of you with Premier Sports, the game is live at 5:15 kickoff. Thoughts ahead of Saturday, Colin?
Not much. No, not much. Let's be honest. No, I think if we play the way we did in the first half and control the game and just be patient and go about our business and not rely on this hoofball nonsense, then I think we should be getting a result there. But The fact is, I said that on Sunday and about tonight, and it didn't happen. So it all remains to be seen. Can't wait to see this unfold. Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing a St Mirren team that are unbeaten in the League Cup this season, albeit their group did contain Queen of the South, Morton, and Queen's Park. And they did only manage draws against Queen of the South and Morton, though, and just a 1-0 victory over Queen's Park, scoring 7 league goals and 8 in the cup. St Mirren kindly treated themselves to a month off because they couldn't keep their COVID breaches under control. So we've not seen much from St Mirren. They've had a week off and coming into this game on the back of a 1-0 away win at Livingston. So they'll have their tails up.
Yep, definitely, which is just what we need. I don't think Jim Goodwin's a bad manager by any means, and they've got Super Jimmy Langfield in the backroom staff as well. So
I would say super, but
what's your problem with Jimmy Langfield, Glenn?
There's lots to not like about Jamie Langfield, but that's for another episode.
Just enjoying stirring the pot. Can't wait for half people listening at home to just be absolutely foaming at the mouth. But no, so they can cause us problems. We've seen that in recent years. And as you said, they will beat Livingston, so they will have their tails up. So we do have to be wary. And as you can see, us going to the so-called fodder of the league, no disrespect, especially on the West Coast, doesn't always end well. So we have to be very wary.
Yeah, when I was writing down the stats, kind of for the games we'd be looking at tonight, Hamilton have actually scored more goals than St Mirren this season, albeit they've conceded a lot more. St Mirren have managed to keep their defence relatively tight, and they showed in the game of Tawdry they are a difficult team to break down, and let's hope that we can show a bit more creativity than we did tonight.
Well, it's super. You mentioned the defence. Super Joe Shaughnessy going up against Ash Taylor, who we apparently signed after Joe Shaughnessy didn't make a decision. So that'll be interesting. It'd be typical of Joe to pop up with a goal, wouldn't it? From a set piece, probably. Let's be honest.
Yeah, nice of you to jinx that. So thanks very much.
It's all right. I'll take the credit for it. At least I'll look smart if it happens. And if it doesn't happen, then at least I was wrong, and we might have a chance of getting something.
But at halftime, we were kind of discussing what we would speak about tonight because, we were cruising, we were comfortable. And one of the points we both wrote down was, is there any reason to change the starting 11? Because, we looked all right.
Oh, God.
Thoughts now?
You should have mentioned that. We were so stupid. Yes, if we can change anything, if there's any other options, then definitely. I think you said before that McInnes maybe mentioned there might be one or two back. Hopefully one of them will be Johnny Hayes. That would be nice because since he's dropped out,
right.
Yeah, that's true. If it's those two, then I'd be very, very happy. Well, if it's any of the two, let's be honest, anyone that can come in and play, please do. But if I think obviously the three out with the COVID probably won't be back. So if it is Hayes, sorry, carry on.
Do you think we could get them just to wear a mask and run around?
Honestly, anything at this stage can't be. But we'll just say it's Ronald Hernandez, and we've decided to give him a game for once, and then we won't question it. But if it is Hayes and Wright coming in within, I think it is probably a very different team with Wright, another creative spark going forward. It won't just be Ryan Hedges, and Hayes obviously could bomb down that left-hand side all day long. So that would be a good improvement. Other than that, don't know what else we could do to change things up, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there about Scott Wright coming back into the team for kind of another creative edge other than Ryan Hedges, because I think we've seen in these last two games, the creative spark is fully on his shoulders. And if a team can mark him out the game or keep him quiet, we're just null of ideas. And that's quite concerning because at the start of the season, we had options and now we don't. And I know that's injuries and that's part and parcel of football, but we need to have some strength and depth and other options coming off the bench to help us, because we don't just want to be in the situation where we are now when we have a few players injured and suddenly we can't beat anybody.
Definitely. I mean, obviously, it's unusual for any team to have so many players out, but at the same time, there is still a good amount of first-team players in there, so we should be doing better than we have been in the last couple of games. I miss Marley Watkins. I didn't think I'd say that, but I definitely do. Obviously, you could play up front or in behind, and if he was in behind Cosgrove alongside sort of Hedges, then that's sort of far more creative spark in there. But no, not to be, sadly, and I don't think we'll ever see him play for Aberdeen again, which is quite sad. Because
No, unless we sign him in January, but
who knows? It would be very Aberdeen to sign a injury-prone forward from England. You know, it wouldn't be like us, so we'll see what happens.
yeah, and I think that's kind of a good point as well. We do miss him, and Cosgrove's had quite a quiet two games.
He has maybe taking a bit more time than we thought to get up to sharpness. I'm hoping that's all it is, and we'll just see him one game just spring into life, and that's him for the rest of the season. Hopeful clutch at straws, but I suppose never know. And the worrying thing is, had him up front with Edmondson, that didn't go too well. Had him up front with Maine, that didn't go too well. So there's not much other options left, is there?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of excuse Sunday's game in a sense for Sam because we didn't really create much, but we did tonight, and yeah, there was no chances taken, but there was no real, like the goals coming that second half. We could probably still be playing now, and we still wouldn't look like scoring.
Yeah, we could probably go to midnight. I suppose he did have the chance which was saved by Fulton, tipped onto the post. I think he did well, sort of a snapshot, but unfortunately, it didn't. It's just typical that he managed to tip it just onto the post and not on the inside of the post or anything, just on the outside and it'll go out. It's just sort of our luck at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. But looking ahead to Saturday, obviously it's a cup game. Important that we get a cup run, do you think?
Yeah.
With it being the League Cup, or is it just the Diddy Cup?
It's not. I would take anything at this stage. Anything, just anything at all. Although it would have to be better than just getting to Hampden and playing in a semi-final, which doesn't mean anything, Derek, if you're listening.
Yes, Derek, trophies keep you in a job, which is quite questionable why you're still in a job. Anyway, yeah, so that comment I'm sure will make Jonathan Main happy because, yeah, there's a lot left to be desired surrounding McInnes, and I think Saturday will also be quite important for McInnes just to show, and I guess kind of really on what Ryan Hedges said ahead of tonight, being a blip, and we need to bounce back.
Yeah, definitely. If we get knocked out of the cup after those two results, it's not Aberdeen. Twitter's not going to be a happy place. Let's be honest. And it's probably
missed those days.
Yeah, it's probably just as well that it is just the Twitter and it's not a full away end. If that would be there. Although it would be a good trip down after the last one in the evening.
Yeah, well, actually, when we go back to the one-word reaction, there was a Michael Scott replied with the word "boo," and I think there would have been a lot of that at full time tonight. But I suppose, in a way, maybe St Mirren are disappointed there won't be any crowd because, given the performances in our last two games, that we would. I'm including myself in this. We would get frustrated very quickly if things didn't go our way on Saturday, and I think we're going in with a depleted squad. So Mirren would definitely play to that.
Yeah, definitely, and they've got a pretty decent home support as well, I suppose, for being down there. Very vocal, so they probably benefit from that. But yeah, if it got to sort of something like probably just 20 minutes, half an hour, and things weren't going our way, I think it would turn very sour very, very quickly. So they probably are a bit annoyed about that.
Yeah, especially as you say, like the last game, which was the cup game again, late kickoff, and actually this is where these glasses came about from after the pitch invasion from Sam Cosgrove's penalty.
There you go. Actually, it would have been good because Funso Ojo would have been playing. So then we could just sing about him for the whole game once again. Oh, I missed
Well,
that.
you say that, but given the way the last two games, it would be him that would be the person probably on the most receiving end as soon as he makes a mistake.
But at least we could sing this song.
I mean, if that's the only thing we've got to be positive about now, then that's quite concerning.
Well, that's the way things are, Glenn, at the moment, I feel.
Yep, it is. And as Fraser Wallace said, isn't it great to have club football back?
Oh, I know. Bring back the boring internationals, I tell you.
Yep, so Cup Fever hits this weekend. What's your one word ahead of Saturday?
Apprehensive. Have we used that one before? I'm not sure if we have.
No. For a
Yeah.
Harlaw boy, that's a good word for you.
Slander. Sorry, we're all privately educated, all right? Apprehensive is going to be my word. Pretty self-explanatory. Things haven't been going well, and I'm just a bit worried going into the cup game. It's a one-off game. They could be up for it, and they've got nothing to lose, really, let's be honest. So, a bit concerned. What about you?
I'm going to use some of the words that have been used tonight, and I'm going to say uninspired, because given the last two performances, and St Mirren haven't exactly been setting the heather on fire recently domestically, I just think it's going to be a very uninspiring game. So there's not much to look forward to. The only thing I'll say is I hope the stream's better on Saturday than it was tonight.
True, but it's Premier Sports, so you never know.
True, although the cup semi-final wasn't the best, but maybe it's just out living in the sticks. It's the poor internet.
So you chuked her.
I'll take that slander back since my previous to you, but it's not fun reviewing poor performances, so hopefully we've got something better to record at the weekend.
Fingers crossed. Otherwise, this is going to be a very, very miserable place, this podcast.
Yeah, but, the kind of beauty of doing it straight after full time was we wanted to kind of get the passion out. And I hope those of you that have tuned into this episode kind of feel that passion. We don't just do this just to, it is red tinted classes, and we're not just sitting going to happy clap Derek McInnes into a new contract. We're going to give our honest feedback, and I hope you can appreciate that. Callum?
Yeah, definitely. You say clap into contract. We do have that power. We do have the power to do that. Believe me, everyone.
Yeah, Tommy.
Exactly. There we go. We've got the contacts, everything.
Yeah, so maybe we should just see the contacts about Derek.
Exactly. Maybe contacts, red tinted glasses. See, it's all clever.
Yeah, and I suppose on that humorous note, we should leave it for tonight, and let's try and look forward to Saturday if we can.
Yeah, there's not much to look forward to, but yeah, I agree.
Hopefully more positivity on the next episode.
Perfect. Yep. Thank you very much for listening.